President Emeritus, former trustee, faculty member, distinguished educator, great patriot, beloved friend, and benefactor. These are just a small sampling of the many terms that describe Dr. Haroutune K. Armenian.
After Harout's presidency, he remained a member of our Board of Trustees and a very active member at that. He worked to make sure that all of the programs that he put in place were healthy and well-functioning for as long as he remained on the board, and he remained on the board as long as he was able to do so.
Haroutune understood that universities are built not only with programs and buildings, but with trust, credibility, and moral leadership. He embodied all three.
Dr. Armenian used to say, join the MPH program or College of Health Sciences to build the future of health in Armenia and beyond.
All of us can surely say how Dr. Armenian loved what he was doing.
He strongly believed that education and learning would change people's life, and he did it not through just providing some short-term help, but he believed that the person should stand on his own.
Dr. Armenian led AUA as president for 14 transformative years, leaving an enduring legacy that shaped the institution's path and broadened its impact both in Armenia and internationally.
I first met Dr. Haroutune Armenian in 2010 at the American University of Armenia. What began as simply a curiosity on my part quickly became a lifelong commitment that changed my life. And because of Haroutune's deep passion for AUA, his belief in its students, and his conviction that education could shape Armenia's future.
Under Dr. Armenian's leadership, AUA expanded its campus by expanding the modern facilities of the Paramaz Avedisyan building, multiplied student enrollment, and welcomed its first international students. He also introduced innovative ideas, including the development of the Digital Library of Classical Armenian Literature.
It was my pleasure last year to give in Harout Armenian's name the Presidential Commendation Award, which is the highest award given by the President of AUA every year to somebody who's contributed immensely toward the success of the institution. I was able to give the Presidential Commendation Award to his granddaughter, Sarin, who is there to accept it on his behalf.
My grandfather taught me the value and power of education, a lesson that guides me as I pursue my own path in higher education and a career in health. With each return to Armenia, I'm reminded of his remarkable 37-year journey with his homeland, and am inspired to carry forward his vision.
In 2012, I had the opportunity to tour the regions of Armenia with Harout and see some of the small businesses that resulted from TRDP, the Turpanjan Rural Development Program. And you could see the pride in the eyes of these entrepreneurs, and you could also see the pride that Harout took in showing what the program had accomplished over the years. There's nothing quite like TRDP. It's a really innovative program and something that AUA can point to with pride.
He would often visit Artsakh for field trips, would rarely stay in the office, and would always put a lot of visits to businesses that TRDP financed and supported. And he could put into an agenda about 8 visits, and we spent all that day in a trip.
Through the Turpanjan Rural Development Program, over 550 businesses were established in villages, 1,169 jobs were created, and 1,830 people received entrepreneurship training. These and other programs were realized under the leadership of Dr. Armenian, which continue to shape the lives of AUA students, alumni, and faculty across Armenia and the world. Born in Beirut, Lebanon, Dr. Armenian received his medical degree from the American University of Beirut. He later earned Master of Public Health and Doctor of Public Health degrees from the Johns Hopkins School of Hygiene and Public Health, known today as the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health.
In 1994, Dr. Armenian was approached by the AUA administration to think about developing a program in healthcare services or something related to health. And the initial idea was to develop a medical school, but as a result of multiple discussions and brainstorming sessions, the team decided that they would try to develop a modern public health program.
He was instrumental in launching novel academic programs, expanding AUA's research profile, implementing projects toward preservation of natural heritage and business development in regions, and guiding the university toward accreditation by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. Together with his wife, Sona, Dr. Armenian generously supported students studying at the Turpanjan College of Health Sciences. These scholarships transformed many lives by removing financial barriers to education.
During my studies at AUA, I received a few named scholarships. One of them were Dr. Haroutune and Sona Armenian scholarships. And all were both merit and need-based, and all were of tremendous importance for me.
Dr. Armenian was a profound Armenian patriot whose dedication to the homeland shaped every chapter of his life's work. He believed deeply in the potential of the Armenian people and worked tirelessly to create opportunities for generations of bright, ambitious Armenians to thrive in their homeland.
Right now, we have over 350 graduates of the Master of Public Health program who are working worldwide, not only in Armenia but outside, who serve in the government positions, including deputy ministers of health, directors of health agencies, senior advisors, contributing to policy making, decision making that is very important in health sciences or in the health sector.
Through his leadership at AUA and beyond, he opened doors for students and professionals alike, equipping them with the education, skills, and confidence to lead, innovate, and serve their communities. His vision was to build not only institutions, but also lives anchored in knowledge, purpose, and a shared commitment to Armenia's progress. Dr. Armenian was also a fellow of the Royal College of Physicians in London and a member of the American Epidemiological Society. He served on the Central Executive Council of the Armenian Church in Lebanon, as well as on the executive of the Hamaskain Cultural Association and the Karagosian Foundation.
He has done very unique research worldwide when the civil war in Lebanon started, or when Armenia faced the consequences of the devastating earthquake. So a chunk of his publications have been based on these research projects that investigating what is happening to the health of people during such tragic conditions. And for example, he had a 20-year follow-up cohort study in the earthquake area in Armenia. And the team under leadership of Dr. Armenian published over 10 papers on what happens to people's health and what is helping to keep their health in good condition. What are the factors?
In addition to his professional achievements, Dr. Armenian was also a gifted artist. He began watercolor painting in Beirut, Lebanon in 1976, during a time when the country was facing an increasingly violent civil war. With his paintings, Dr. Armenian aimed to capture scenes of peace and beauty that were left in his homeland. He once said, "The most fulfilling and peaceful time was the time of expression through colors and images." Dr. Armenian's contributions to AUA, higher education, public health, and Armenian society will never be forgotten. His work continues to live on through the thousands of students, faculty, researchers, and community members he inspired, mentored, and empowered. Thank you, Dr. Armenian.
Choice, quality, entrepreneurship, and technology. AUA represents all four of those and introduced that in a transitional society which was moving from the Soviet society to a society that was ready for change.
Dear members of the AUA Board of Trustees, esteemed chair, members of the Armenian family, AUA community, and honored guests, it's my pleasure to welcome you all to this evening dedicated to celebrating the extraordinary life and legacy of Dr. Haroutune K. Armenian, who served as AUA President for 14 transformative years and was a devoted philanthropist and educator who dedicated his life to serving AUA, serving Armenia, and all the organizations that he was connected to. As you've seen in this beautiful documentary, Dr. Armenian's contributions were vast and they were far-reaching. From expanding AUA's research program to launching the Turpanjan Rural Development Program, guiding the university to accreditation by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, his impact on AUA has been truly invaluable and long-lasting. A visionary educator, physician, and public health expert, Dr. Armenian was a strong proponent of education, community development, and meaningful social change. I first met Dr. Armenian when I was appointed AUA President in 2010. He and Sona invited me to stay at their beautiful home in Tujunga, California. He shared his experiences with me. He offered me valuable advice to help ensure a smooth transition and a successful presidency. I remain deeply grateful to him for his mentorship and his guidance, and also to both Sona and him for their kind hospitality during that visit. From going through university records, discussing the challenges of the AUA presidency, over dinner at the Monty restaurant in Studio City, I will never forget that wonderful visit and your hospitality. Dr. Armenian's connection to AUA did not end with his presidency. Following his tenure, he remained actively engaged with the university in many meaningful ways. It was my honor to present to him the Presidential Commendation Award last year in recognition of his enduring dedication to our university. Today we celebrate Dr. Armenian's enduring contributions, his achievements, and the profound impact that he's had in Armenia. His legacy will forever be remembered within these walls and beyond these walls. I'd like to share at this point a few words from Dr. Genel Turyan, who was Dr. Armenian's longtime colleague and friend. Dr. Turyan was unable to join us today, but he sent his remarks, and I'd like to read them now. He wrote, and I quote, "Let me express my admiration and respect for Dr. Armenian on the occasion of the celebration of his life and legacy as president of AUA for over a decade. I was vice president of research and development at AUA and visiting professor of science and engineering during his tenure. I especially appreciated Dr. Armenian for successfully leading AUA through the accreditation process. He was a wonderful friend and colleague as we worked together to help AUA obtain and maintain accreditation. He led AUA with a firm hand and always made time for me in my own struggles as a faculty member. I am grateful for the years that we shared, following our passion to see AUA grow and mature to become the great university that it is today. At this time, I would like to invite Dr. Vartui Petrosyan, Dean of the Trepanjan College of Health Sciences, to deliver her remarks. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I would like to present Dr. Armenian's portrait of a human being through our journey to Mount Ararat, a pilgrimage that became possible thanks to Sona's tremendous efforts, during which we enjoyed moments of absolute happiness with Dr. Armenian, Sona, Arsen, Ara, and Artur. I'm sorry. He dedicated this trip to the 15th anniversary of AUA. Through the photo collage, I wanted to show you that Dr. Armenian loved hiking and was adventurous. And not only hiking in Mount Ararat, but every peak that we have in Armenia before going for Mount Ararat. He had a sense of humor, made jokes, loved listening jokes, and laughed a lot. He loved good food. He danced and sang while climbing. You can see with our guide, the Kurdish guy. And he danced not only while hiking Mount Ararat, but he danced, you may remember, in many of the dinners that AUA have organized and had lots of fun with graduates, faculty members, and the staff members. He enjoyed having a wonderful team going for the trip with him. And wherever he went, he surrounded himself with a wonderful group of people who believed in the ideas that he had. He dearly loved his homeland, ancestral homeland. And amazingly, he never stopped reading. You can see he's reading at 4,200 meters above the sea level. He was a dedicated painter. You have already seen that. And he noticed beauty and colors where many of us didn't see or didn't notice. He transferred them to paper and shared with us to enjoy the same beauty. He was also a writer, not only producing scientific scholarship, but also poetry. There are a few books documenting that. Dr. Armenian was, was a visionary. He set very high goals and always knew how to get there. This is on top of Mount Ararat. I would like to talk about him as an educator, and I found this wonderful quote from Avedis Donabedian. You know, he's known worldwide as the father of quality of care. And Dr. Armenian approached him asking to write a book specially for Armenian doctors, nurses, students to learn how to bring quality care to this country. And Avedis Donabedian wrote this book 1 year before dying. And he wrote in his book, a dear friend whose sacrificial devotion to the cause of education in Armenia was a shining example. So he was motivated by Dr. Armenian to write this book. I will not talk about much about his presidency, but a few highlights. You can see the photos when the building was just started, and some events at AUA, and spending time with Agbabian family and Terpanjan family. Dr. Armenian's entire life was about cultivating a culture of learning. He strongly believed in continuous quality improvement and found important parallels in quality in healthcare and education. Hence, he initiated the first accreditation process in 1998. AUA was granted candidacy in 2002 and reached historic milestone of accreditation in August 2006. And you all know that in 2015 and 24, the Western Association of Schools and Colleges reaffirmed AUA's accreditation for 9 and then 10 years. I think it was around June 2025, right before he departed us, in body but not in spirit. Dr. Armenian visited me in my dream and asked, "Please take good care of my projects." And I promised that I will take care of those projects. So I would like to highlight some of those projects that he initiated. And I promise to take care. Planning for the AUA Storpanjan College of Health Sciences started in early 1994, leading to its establishment in 1995. We now celebrate over 30 years anniversary. Dr. Armenian was the director of Johns Hopkins MPH program at the time and led the efforts of creating an MPH program at AUA. The planning team included Drs. Haroutune, Kim Hakimian, Michael Thompson, and Avetis Donabedian Krikor Sohikyan. A formal affiliation with Johns Hopkins School of Public Health has been established, and you can see that the very first agreement was signed between AUA President Mihran Akbabian and Dean Alfred Sommer in 1994. And the first cohort of MPH students started in 1995. I hope many of you recognize yourself. The MPH program progressed via a series of faculty curricular planning workshops at Hopkins, University of Pennsylvania, Boston University, and AUA. I was invited when I was a student to participate in these meetings because he believed that students and alumni can contribute significantly to this process. Dr. Armenian was also very passionate about strengthening nursing in Armenia through providing opportunity for university education. And I have to say that these meetings had extraordinary energy there. People would get inspired and motivated to do their best. Once Rosanna Grigorian was with me, and after the meeting, she shared with me that now she understands how excited we get after these faculty workshops. And of course, after every faculty workshop in Baltimore, Sona and Dr. Armenian invited to their house for a festive, heartwarming, and cozy dinner to enjoy Sona's exquisite cooking and homemade chocolate. These amazing celebrations finished with singing and dancing. Haroutune would play a piano, and Dr. Armenian sang. One particular song he loved and encouraged all of us to join was the Kenats Yerk, cheer song, with the Larry Timbala ha ha ha, you may recognize. Couple of words about programs that he cherished more recently, and his last visit was devoted to the Entrepreneurs in Health program, which started in collaboration with Turpanjan Rural Development Program. I want to highlight that over 1,000 health providers throughout Armenia have been trained in quality of care. Over 110 people who tried to establish health centers were trained in entrepreneurship in healthcare. There are currently 23 active health centers throughout the regions of Armenia, rural areas. And these centers are providing better care, quality care, and improved access for around 240,000 people. There are also various community-based public health and research projects. And of course, we publish. He would emphasize all the time, document whatever you're doing. Publish when you start a new project. Plan developing several papers to share your knowledge with a broader community. I was debating in my mind when to present this information, but I will do it now. We have been thinking and brainstorming in the College of Health Sciences how to make sure that the newer generations will always know who he was and to be motivated by his role model. So we have decided that in June, around his birthday, we're going to have Haroutune Armenian annual scientific symposium, during which the best student projects and alumni projects will be presented. And before starting the presentations, we're going to share with our younger generation who he was. And we hope that his spirit will live with us through this. This is just one of the activities that we're thinking about. How to finish, I have been thinking about. And you probably know that Dr. Armenian's daughter, Arina Armenian, was a poet. And she wrote in 91-92, "Feel the sorrow, share the pain, and let the tears run. But do not mourn forever. Remember his joys, remember the smiles, and remember the laughter, but do not mourn forever. Keep his memory, and he will live in your hearts and ours forevermore." I would like to invite now Hracha Lilozyan, 2016 Master of Public Health graduate, a research associate, who has been working on the Entrepreneurs in Health program with Dr. Armenian.
Good evening, everyone. Today, we gather not only to remember Dr. Haroutune Armenian, but to celebrate a life that touched so many of us as a teacher, mentor, leader, and above all, as a remarkable human being. I consider myself one of the fortunate ones who had the privilege of working closely with Dr. Armenian. Every hour, every conversation, and every moment spent with him was a learning experience. First, as a student at the MPH program, and later as a researcher working alongside him, I had the opportunity to witness his brilliance, dedication, and humanity. As students, many of us saw Dr. Armenian as a strict disciplinarian. He demanded excellence, discipline, and commitment. He accepted nothing less than our best. In his classroom, we sat quietly, almost afraid to make sound, yet completely captivated by the way he taught. He had an extraordinary ability to explain complex concepts in epidemiology with such passion and clarity that he made us fall in love with the discipline itself. He did not simply teach us epidemiology, he inspired us to live it, think it, and carry it forward in our daily lives. Dr. Armenian was also a passionate advocate of health, sports, and healthy living. He strongly believed that health was not only something we studied, but something we practiced every day. I still remember one particular moment from when I was a student at AUA. I was rushing to class, and decided to take the elevator to the 4th floor of this building, quietly hoping that I wouldn't run into Dr. Armenian. Unfortunately for me, when the elevator stopped and the doors opened, there he was, making his way to his office. So he stopped, looked at me with his stern expression, and almost teasingly asked, "Do you have a condition with your legs? Why don't you take the stairs?" That was all it took. From that day on, I made sure to take the stairs, at least whenever Dr. Armenian was in town. Looking back now, that moment was more than a humorous memory. It reflected who he was. He taught through example. His principles were not abstract ideas, they were values he lived every single day. I later had the privilege of working with Dr. Armenian on the Turpanjan Entrepreneurs in Health project. During his visits to Armenia, we traveled extensively through villages and regions across Armenia and Artsakh. I had seen many of those places before, but seeing them through Dr. Armenian's eyes was a totally different experience for me. I saw our homeland from the perspective of a true patriot. Those journeys became lessons far beyond public health. Over long roads and countless hours together, he shared stories from his youth in Lebanon, experiences from the Civil War, his days at AUB and Johns Hopkins University, as well as memories from his years as president of AUA. He spoke openly about challenges, responsibilities, difficult decisions, and the journey that had shaped his remarkable life and career. Listening to him, I began to realize that beneath the image of the strict professor was a gentle, caring, and a deeply compassionate man. A father figure who loved his family, his students, his country, and his profession with equal devotion. He challenged us because he believed in us. He held us to high standards because he expected us to become better versions of ourselves. And he invested in people because he understood that knowledge only matters when it is passed on to the next generation. Today, although Dr. Armenian is no longer physically with us, his presence remains. It remains in the classrooms where students continue to study public health. It remains in the projects that he initiated and inspired. It remains in the work we continue to do, striving to uphold the standards of excellence, integrity, and dedication that he envisioned. But perhaps most importantly, it remains in all of us who had the privilege of learning from him. Dr. Armenian leaves behind not only achievements and institutions, but a legacy of people, students, colleagues, researchers, and friends whose lives he shaped. And for that, we remain forever grateful. Thank you, Dr. Armenian, for your guidance, your wisdom, your discipline, your stories, and your unwavering belief in us. May your memory continue to inspire generations to come. Thank you. Now I'd like to invite to the podium my colleague, Mr. Artur Lalayan from the Turpanjan Rural Development Project.
Thank you. Dear colleagues, distinguished guests, AUA community, and beneficiaries of Turpanjan Rural Development Program, it is an honor and also a responsibility to stand before you today representing the Turpanjan Rural Development Program to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. K, Haroutune K, Armenian. Most of us here know well that Dr. Armenian was not only a renowned epidemiologist, educator, and President Emeritus of the American University of Armenia, but also a visionary who believed deeply in the power of rural communities to shape Armenia's future. The program that Dr. Armenian designed and led for nearly 2 decades has a clear mission to empower rural communities throughout Armenia through entrepreneurship training, support for business establishment, and continued mentorship. And today, thanks to this vision, we have trained thousands of people and helped establish hundreds of businesses across the country. To mention just a few examples from Chirac and Lori, we have a family in Chirac, for example, who repatriating to Armenia 2 years ago, established and now successfully operate one of the best bakeries in the region. And another bakery in Lori, established with the program's assistance, has grown into a thriving business, creating several jobs and building an extensive distribution network. And these are just only a few examples among many, many others, including stores, dairy, processing facilities, and numerous other successful rural enterprises. That these are not just success stories. They represent livelihoods, dignity, opportunities, seized opportunities, and renewed confidence and for the families and the communities. And for those of us working within the program, Dr. Armenian's guidance was always rooted in both compassion and practicality. Hard work, careful attention to every detail, and individual approach to each and every case are the values we learned and practiced under his leadership. And today in my daily work, be it a monitoring visit to a project site or a program outreach event or a class day in the office, I often remember Dr. Armenian reminding us on every opportunity, on every instant, that rural development is not charity, but it's an investment in human potential. And I am grateful for the opportunity to have worked with Dr. Armenian, for his mentorship, his guidance, his leadership, and his unwavering faith in the potential of Armenia's rural communities. And for our program beneficiaries here today, ծրագրի շահառուներ պետք է խնդրեմ կարճ ծափերով դոկտոր Արմենյանի հիշատակին նվիրված կարճ ծափերով ձեր ներկայությունը ցույց տաք տալիճին հիմա Շնորհակալություն. And for our beneficiaries here today, your achievements are living proof of Dr. Armenian's belief that with the right support, people in rural communities can discover and seize many opportunities. Dear colleagues, as we remember Dr. Armenian, let's also commit ourselves to carrying forward his legacy. I am confident that his vision continues to inspire each of us. And every new business established, and every entrepreneur trained, and every village covered and reached by the program is a continuation of his life's work. And may we honor his memory today not only with words, but also with our work tomorrow, ensuring that his legacy of empowerment, resilience, and development endures for many, many years to come. Thank you.
Dear friends, distinguished guests, it is a great honor to be in here today for this event dedicated to Dr. Haroutune Armenian. My name is Levon Eskenyan, and I'm the founder and the artistic of the Gurdjieff Ensemble. And before we perform, I would like to share a few thoughts about the two pieces that we will perform and also express my personal gratitude. The Gurdjieff Ensemble, which includes almost every traditional Armenian instrument, is named after the Armenian philosopher, spiritual teacher, choreographer, musician, G.I. Gurdjieff, who was born in Armenia, and his quest to understand the meaning of life in the universe led him through Armenia, the Middle East, reaching Central Asia, India, and Tibet. And throughout his journey, he encountered different religions, traditions, folk dances, rituals, and based on those, after returning, he founded the School of the Harmonious Development of Man, where music was very important part of it. Later on, while remembering all those melodies that he heard during his journeys, he dictated to his student Thomas de Hartmann, and they together composed piano pieces. But because the basis of these pieces were original Armenian instruments and Middle Eastern instruments, my work was to arrange back to the source instruments that he might have encountered during his journeys. And today you will hear number 40 from his Asian songs and rhythms. Just a bit about his idea that humans, his philosophy was based that the humans are usually live in a hypnotic state, and the key for self-development is self-observation. Now, the second piece is by Gomidas. I will not talk about Gomidas. We all know who Gomidas was, but I will emphasize this piece specifically, the Musho Shoror of Mush, which is again a piano piece by Gomidas, but in this case, Gomidas indicated the instruments, the source instruments, and the instruments that the pianist should evoke while performing them. And those instruments were the zurna, the big percussion tumpuk, and the duduk. And based on those indications, I was able to arrange this piece back to the source instruments you will hear today. And Musho Shoror is connected with the pilgrimage traditions of Surp Garabet Monastery near Mush, one of the most important sacred places in historic Armenia and for all Armenians. And you will see a photo now by Bodil Bjorn. It's a historic photo from 1905. You know about Bodil Bjorn. She was a Norwegian missionary who lived in Mush, and after the genocide, she saved thousands of Armenian orphans. And this is not just a historic photo. For me, it served also as basis while reconstructing some of the instruments, for example, the tumpuk, the big percussion, as you see on the left. According to Gomidas, Shoror is a very ancient pre-Christian piece, which means that it was orally transmitted for thousands of years from Armenia's pagan times. It consists of a series of 7 dances, and it's a very ritual piece. And more than, I would emphasize this, that we don't have Surp Garabet Monastery anymore because it's totally destroyed. But through the piece of Gomidas, we have the essence. And after a century, we could reconstruct, and we are able somehow to revive the spirit, the essence of the pilgrims, and share it with the world. And finally, I would like to express my gratitude. You know, I was born in Lebanon, and I moved to Armenia in 1996 to study music, and specifically Armenian music. And on those times, there were not so many foundations supporting an Armenian student studying at the conservatory. I was fortunate enough to be introduced by Shagig Arzuni to Dr. Haroutune Armenian, and he, in his turn, shared my needs, my financial needs, with the Turpanjan Foundation, and I got the support, and luckily I was able to study. And I'm grateful to them and to everyone that supports education, culture, and human values. Thank you very much. Enjoy the piece, and I would invite the Gurdjieff ensemble now.
Good evening, everyone. Sona and Saro, thank you for coming over today. I'm Zaven Akian, Chair of the Board of Trustees. First of all, I want to say such a remarkable tribute for Haroutune tonight. Let's give another round of applause for the council. That was tremendous. Thank you. I want to say more personal words than what was said so far about Haroutune's professional life and what he built at AUA. But let me just say that we gathered here tonight to remember a remarkable man, but also to honor a life that helped shape the very identity and spirit of the American University of Armenia. We can say a lot of things. You saw some of the video pictures of myself, what I said. I was a personal life. I had a personal friend in Haroutune. We were both born in Beirut, Lebanon, only about 5 months apart from each other. We went to the same school, American University's College of International College. I was in the Mathématiques élémentaires class, and he was in the Sciences expérimentales. We had the same professors. We spoke about those professors over and over again. We got together, and somehow I came to Yerevan in 2010, and I saw Haroutune as president at that time, and he changed my life. He made me a very passionate person in AUA. And first, he got me to do something about the Akian Gallery in the PAB building. And later on, lots of other things, but let me not talk about myself. He was an incredible person who, a magnetic personality to attract people to help the cause at AUA. Under his leadership, AGBU was so proud of him. I remember having meetings with ex-president Luis Simon of AGBU, who used to talk so highly of Haroutune. And she used to ask me, how is he doing? I didn't know how he was doing at that time, but I followed up later on. And I remember Bert Satrakian, who was the president for many, many years, who spoke so highly of Harut and his accomplishments. And we spent some time together, my wife, Sona, and Harut and I. We used to get together. We used to hike. We hiked together Araler, as well as hikings in Los Angeles. And I miss him. So beyond that, he attracted some of the greatest supporters of AUA. Turfanjan family. Under his leadership, the Avedisian family, which constructed the PAB building, as well as I remember those days when AUA used to have, by March of each year, a deficit of $300,000-$400,000 to pay and finish the year. Haroutune used to be able to get a check of $300,000-$400,000 from Luis Simon in those days and close the year. And that was the kind of person he was. He established the foundation of this university. He loved it. And we're so grateful to him. So I think that you heard a lot about his leadership at AUA and everywhere. So I won't repeat all that stuff. But let me just say that his legacy is woven into the story of AUA forever. And his example will continue to guide this institution for generations to come. May his memory continue to inspire all of us. And with that, I would like to invite Dr. Bogosian and Lilith Alaverdian to present a gift to Harut's son, Dr. Saro Armenian. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Terpanjan College of Health Sciences alumni, we would like to present this plate, commemorative plate, featuring his painting. We would also like to present this photo album, where you can find the treasurable memories and moments we shared with Dr. Armenian. I would like to tell everyone that we have special place for those who would like to share their thoughts, messages, and memories at the end of the photo book. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the beautiful gifts. Very touching. And it's been a remarkable evening. Can you hear me okay? Yes? Okay. So it's a tremendous honor to be here to represent my family in memory and honor of my father. President Bogosian, members of the Board of Trustees, AUA faculty and staff, students, friends, colleagues, and honored guests. On behalf of our entire family, I want to sincerely thank you for gathering here today in remembrance of and a celebration of my incomparable father. For many in this room, he was a teacher, a mentor, a colleague, a scientist, a friend. For our family, he was our compass and a source of profound wisdom and strength. You see, at his core, my father believed deeply in service. He believed education carried responsibility and that knowledge meant very little if it was disconnected from humanity and from the obligations to improve the lives of others. And nowhere was this sense of responsibility stronger than in his relationship with Armenia. Born in Beirut, Armenia lived in him constantly. It shaped his identity, his worldview, and his sense of purpose. And to go off script, it literally shaped his worldview. The portrait that you see was taken at his home in California. And if you look at his glasses, you see a reflection of sunlight that mirrors Ararat and Masis. Armenia literally shaped the lens with which he actually viewed the world. It was a part of everything that he saw and he felt. He believed deeply that Armenians everywhere had a responsibility not only to preserve identity and memory, but to build institutions, create opportunity, and contribute meaningfully to society. One of the clearest, but by no means the only expression of this, was his passion for the Terpanjan Rural Development Program. He believed deeply that the future of Armenia depended not only on Yerevan, but also on the strength and vitality of rural communities throughout Armenia, Artsakh, and Javakh. And he did not support this mission from a distance. He traveled thousands of miles across villages, mountain roads, remote communities to listen, encourage, and help people build opportunity and hope for the future. Those journeys were deeply personal to him. He believed meaningful change required presence. It required showing up, listening carefully, and respecting the experience of others. At AUA, he found a mission that combined many parts of who he was: an educator, institution builder, public health thinker, and optimist. He took enormous pride in helping shape a university grounded not only in academic excellence, but also in service, openness, and humanity. But there was another side of my father that many people remember fondly. Beyond science and public health, he possessed a deeply artistic spirit. He painted, wrote, constantly reflected, and appreciated beauty in all forms. He believed science and art were not opposites, but complementary ways of understanding our human experience. In fact, at his core, he believed that art and creativity could serve as our salvation from the weight of this world. Nowhere was this articulated better than in a letter he wrote me more than 30 years ago. And this was a few months after my sister's passing. I would like to share an excerpt. Ինձի համար ավելի լավ միջոց կա այս վիճակը հաղթահարելու։ Այդ միջոցը ստեղծագործությունն է։ Իրավ, ստեղծագործությունը հեղափոխություն է։ Հեղափոխություն ընդունված դասավորումներուն թեմ։ Ստեղծագործությունը երևույթները, նյութը, խոսքը, միտքը, նոր վերադասավորումն կենթարկե։ Անկախ հին գաղաբարներեն, անթունտներեն եւ քակատներեն անկախ ստեղծագործությունը ցանկը դարբեր ծևերով է որ գեմաստավոր է։ Կարելի է ստեղծագործել ամեն օր եւ ամեն վարյան։ Ստեղծագործությունը արվեստ եւ գիտություն է։ Ստեղծագործությունը արիտն է ցանկը ապրել մեր ուզած ձևով։ Արիտն է վերադասավորելու մեր ներկան ու թիմակրավելու մեր ապագան։ Ստեղծագործությունը փնդրդուկն է, չգտնված աշխարհներու ու չտեսնված աստղերու։ Ստեղծագործությունը նաև ազատություն է։ Ազատություն յանքը ապրելու եւ կործելու մեր ինքնուրույն չափանիշներով։ Despite all my father accomplished professionally and personally, ultimately one of the most remarkable things about him was his humility. He treated students with the same respect he showed global leaders. He listened carefully. He encouraged generously. He genuinely believed in lifting others up. That, more than anything, may be his greatest legacy. Not only the institutions he helped shape, not only ideas that he helped advance, but the people he inspired, the values he modeled. My father often spoke about preserving our humanity even during periods of crisis and hardship. He believed communities survive not only through strength, but through empathy, shared responsibility, and hope. And perhaps that is the message we need most today. Because if there is one thing my father taught us, it is that optimism is a choice. Hope is a choice. They are acts of perseverance and faith. He believed deeply in the ability of people to rebuild, to heal, and to move forward even after hardship and loss. He saw that spirit in Armenia and in ordinary people whose resilience often goes unnoticed. He believed every generation inherits both memory and responsibility, not simply to preserve what was built before us, but to carry it forward and make it stronger for those who come next. And I think he would want all of us to leave here today not only remembering the past, but feeling inspired about the future, inspired to continue building, inspired to continue serving, inspired to continue to believe in education, compassion, and one another. As we look to our collective future, may we honor my father, not only through remembrance, but through profoundly human and purposeful lives we will choose to live for the rest of our lives. Thank you for honoring my father's legacy, a legacy that will live on through the generations of AUA students and leaders who will shape Armenia's future with the same spirit of service, curiosity, and hope that ultimately guided his life. Thank you.
You remember I mentioned about his beloved song, Genats Yerk. Please join us.
La